中国队，中国队，加油！ Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. 2015 Wuhan Women's Asian Cup is officially kicked off. At the moment, let us with warm applauses and cheers to the team from Japan, South Korea, and North Korea. Welcome to Wuhan. At the same time, we also give our warmest screams to our home team, Team China. Come on. 接下来
우리가 지난번 2013년도 동아시아컵에서 우승을 하고 2014년에 진행한 아시아 경기대회에서도 우리가 1등을 쟁취하였습니다. 그래서 이번에 진행하는 동아시아컵 경기에서도 우리가 반드시 승리해서 아시아 최강자의 지위를 고수할 것입니다. 여기에 온 이 4개 팀들이 다 아시아의 강자들이고 다 패권을 노리는 팀이기 때문에 어느 팀 하나 소홀히 생각할 수 없다고 생각합니다. 그래서 우리 팀은 매 경기 한 경기를 최대의 정신력을 가지고 진행해서 그 아시아 최강자의 지위를 고수하겠습니다.
いよいよアジアカップ、東アジアカップ初戦となりましたけれども、まず初戦に向けて選手にどのようなことを強調されましたか。
そうですね、彼女たちにはですね、今持っている力を自信持って、DPR コリアにね戦ってほしいということだけですね。はい。
いろいろ競争がある中、今日のメンバー選考のポイントはどのあたりに置かれたんでしょうか。
そうですね、メンバーのDPR コリアとのね第一戦は非常に波に乗る大事な試合なんですけれども。非常に選手たちの技量が均衡して、また意識も高かったので、ちょっと先行するには非常に頭を悩ましましたけども、いずれにしても、今の現状の流れと組み合わせといったものを加味してやりました。
選手たちフレッシュなメンバーが多い中、監督どんなことを期待されますか。
いや本当に来年のねリオの予選を含めてリオに向けての彼女たち一人一人がチャレンジだと思いますので、そういったところをねしっかりとこういういい相手と、この大会素晴らしい大会というね中でやっぱりどれだけ自分のものを出せるかアピールできるか、そしてやはり代表として結果をしっかりとね、出せきれるかということ、それに、我々スタッフも含めてそうですけども、ここの選手、そして、なでしこにねチャレンジする若い選手たち、それに僕も本当に楽しみですし期待しています。はい、どうも応援してください。ありがとうございます。
感谢各小伙伴的精彩表演。接下来，我们将请出的是被誉为韩国流行听团继任者的 Legend 传说组合，带来他们最新力作《Shadow》，有请传说组合。Thanks to EAFF. Next, we will have Legend, known as the top 3 compact successor. Shadow, welcome, Legend.
One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, two, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
I wish you all a happy time.
各位支持的球迷和支持者朋友们，欢迎你们来到武汉体育中心体育场，观看朝鲜队和日本队的2006东亚大赛女足东亚决赛。
Devoted fans and supporters, good evening. Welcome to Wuhan Center Stadium for the East Asian Football Federation Women's East Asian Cup 2015 DPR Korea vs Japan.
各位支持的球迷和支持者朋友们，下面为各位汇报受邀首发队的名单。
Devoted fans and supporters, here are the team lineup.
朝鲜队首发队员：1号吴宁熙。
DPR Korea number 1 Will Won.
2号李宗辉。
Number 2 Yang Xiaomi.
6号金恩香。
Number 6 Kim Ang-hwan.
8号金恩洙。
Number 8 Kim Ang-jin.
Hello and welcome to the opening game of the East Asian Football Federation Cup. It's being played here in Wuhan in the Republic of China, and it's a warm and a sultry evening, and the opening game is between the Democratic People's Republic of Korea and Japan. The teams are already in the tunnel waiting to come out in this what promises to be a highly exciting tournament. It's played both at women's and men's international level, and here come the flags of Korea, DPR and Japan for the opening fixture here in 2015, the East Asian Cup. The pitch is absolutely beautiful here in Wuhan, which hosted half a dozen games in the 2007 Women's World Cup. And the sides have all been here for 2 or 3 days to get used to the conditions, but of course they're all from this part of Asia, so they're used to the heat, and many of these players will have played in this very fine stadium before, of course. It's an opportunity for the coaches of the sides to experiment a little with World Cup qualifying matches due in the very near future, and the crowd is now preparing to welcome the women footballers of Korea, DPR and Japan, and we will shortly have the 2 national anthems, as of course is a tradition. And here you can hear the anthem in the background, I'm sure, as the flags are brought over the match ball. The same match ball that was used at the Men's World Cup finals. It's become quite a popular one with the players. The flag of the East Asian Football Federation, of this, an event which dates back a decade now. The first running of the tournament was in 2005. Japan finished third in that inaugural tournament in the women's event. And the referee for this game is from Australia. She is Lisa Rebelt-Casey, assisted by officials from Australia, from Chinese Taipei and from Vietnam. Korea DPR are playing in all white tonight, and Japan, the Nadeshiko, in their traditional blue. And there, number 10, a quick glimpse of Raun Sim, the star striker for Korea, going back over many, many years. So now we will have the two national anthems. First of all, the national anthem of Japan. That was the national anthem from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. So the second of this evening's anthems is for Japan. Applause rings around the International Sports Centre here in Wuhan for these two traditional battlers. And here is the DPR Korea lineup this evening, which does feature as the captain Raun Sim, number 10, 27, the oldest member of the squad. She played in the World Cup in Germany in 2011, and her career has prospered ever since with a surfeit of goals. She scored against Japan in the Under-20 World Cup as far back as 2008 in Chile. As for the Japanese lineup, well, there are half a dozen players here who did represent their country at the World Cup finals in Canada recently. They're not all starting. One who is Kana Kitahara, number 3. Another is the goalkeeper, Erina Yamana, who suffered an injury, a dislocated shoulder, in a game against the Netherlands in Canada, but she's back on duty tonight. The Nadeshiko is how they are known, which is a pink flower. The Japanese women have been terrific in recent times. They won this event in 2008 and in 2010. But they've not beaten Korea DPR in this particular tournament since 2008, a 3-2 win in Chongqing. It's a very colourful stadium here in Wuhan. The Korean side have been here before. There's the list of officials for you. In 2007, when the Women's World Cup came to Wuhan, they lost out to Germany by 3-0. That's the team in white, who are coached by Kim Kwang-min, who has also taken the team to Olympic Games in the past and World Cups. 2 Australian officials, Lisa Rybelt-Casey, supported by Lee Rene Coghill, and also Liu Xiu Mei from Chinese Taipei. The 4th official is Mai Hoang Trang from Vietnam. And there is Kim. He came up with one very controversial excuse for a defeat against the United States a few years ago in the World Cup. He said his players had been struck by lightning a few weeks before the tournament and had been badly affected. The coach of the Japanese side there, Norio Sasaki, and Sakaki has been in charge for some time now and has overseen some famous victories in his time in charge. If you're wondering what time of day it is here in the People's Republic of China, well, it's 20 minutes past 6 in the evening. So a reminder that DPR Korea are in all white and Japan are in all blue. Let's go! So the 2015 East Asian Cup is underway here in Wuhan, with the Japanese attacking from right to left. The ball will just go out over by that corner flag. They have big squads. The Koreans have named 21 players in their squad. The Japanese squad, even more. There are 23 names out there. And as always in these competitions, any side can use 3 substitutes, including a goalkeeper, at any stage of the game. That first clearance was from Kitahara, still only 16 years of age, and she seems to have been playing international football for a long, long time. A young player who's at the centre of the defence now. The ball is rolled back to goalkeeper Yamane from the Jeff United club. Well, there'll be certainly no complaints about the playing surface. I had a look at it yesterday, and it is absolutely glorious surface. Ball is flicked out off the head of the Korean defender, Kim Eung-hyang, one of many from the April 25th club. So it is the Japanese who are looking to launch the first meaningful attack, and there's a trip right on the edge of the penalty area. I think this is a good decision from the Australian official, though. The trip was on Rika Masuya, the Kobe player. Here she goes. And there's a tiny touch, which is sufficient for the free kick to be awarded to the Japanese. The goalkeeper tonight is Hong Myung-hui. Made her debut 5 years ago and played 3 times at the World Cup finals in Germany in 2011. So an experienced goalkeeper for Korea DPR this evening. So Japan sizing up their options as the Australian official speaks to the 3 players in the wall. Wee Jong-sim and Young Song-mi amongst them. It's going to be left-footed by the look of it. It does take an eternity to get these free kicks taken sometime. But here we will have the first free kick of the evening, and it is going to be left-footed, which means it will come towards the keeper and flies a foot over the top of the crossbar. But a decent enough try there from the captain, from Raun Sim, who has scored against Japan in the past in the Under-20 World Cup finals in Chile in 2008. Here she goes. Certainly knows the way to the net, and it just swerves and curls over the top of the crossbar. But it's been a lively start from Japan. And the Japanese perhaps start as favourites. Remember, they reached the final of the Women's World Cup in Canada so recently, just a few weeks ago, losing out to United States of America by 5-2. But for the moment, the Koreans are struggling to get out of their own half. But they should do now. They should get into the opposition half. With 3.5 minutes played, and DPR Korea 0, Japan 0, the score here in Wuhan. The right fullback, wearing number 6, is Kim Un-hyang, who shares the same name as a very famous gymnast who won a gold medal at the Asian Games last year. This is a decent attacking position for Japan. The attempt to cut the ball back was from Saori Arimachi. Ample time for the Koreans to play their way out, but that was rather sloppy, and it's afforded the opportunity for the Japanese to come again with their left fullback Takara. All the way back. This is the only work that Yamane, the goalkeeper, has had so far. 2 back passes. And there's a poor ball out of defence. A rare mistake, and it's led to the first meaningful move for the Koreans here inside the Japanese penalty area. But Japan already have 6 players back there defending and don't mind conceding a corner kick off Kana Kitahara, who was the one who made the initial error there. So, corner Korea, the first of the game to be taken by Kim Un-ju. Drifted long. Harmlessly out at the end. It was just a little bit too high. Awkward on the angle for the player coming in on it. It was Wee Jong-sim, a 17-year-old. The man of the goalkeeper. The Koreans, you feel, are settling a little bit now as the tall figure of Rika Masuya there, who's leading the attack tonight, came back to help win another throw-in. Now going through the centre of midfield, Chu Hyo-sim. Big space up on the left-hand side, and that's where the ball is arrowed. And this will be an opportunity. It was laid in there towards the player who does get a touch on it eventually, Kim Yun-mi. So both sides full of attacking potential. The sight of Saori Arimachi, the Velgata Sendai player, just winning her 2nd cap tonight for Japan, even though she's the eldest member of the squad at 27. Left fullback is Yoon Song-mi, who made her debut 8 years ago and played at the Olympic Games in London. Koreans played out from the back with Kim Nam-hui, who also played at the Olympic Games coincidentally. This is long, and if it's held up here, there may just be a chance for the Koreans to get something from this. But the offside flag has been rather belatedly raised. Against Kim Yun-mi. Yamano, the goalkeeper there, 6 feet 2 inches tall. He was persuaded to take up football as a part of a Supergirl project in Japan. His latest attack sees 3 of them forward here in handy positions, right on the edge of that area. Rather clumsy defending. First proper shot of the game, saved by Hong Myung-hui. But an inkling there that there are mistakes to be made in that defence, and it just enabled Ami Sugita to get in. There she goes, number 22. It's the first shot of the game, but it was directly at goalkeeper Hong. Taken by Ryoka Takara. And this is Takara now, right-footed, tries to sweep it over the top of the entire Korean defence. And another good ball forward, but well spotted and well picked out on this occasion by Kim Un-ha. Some quite long and searching passes at the moment, and Japan have to concede a second corner kick. Once again, it's Kitahara. And have a look at some of the enthusiasts in the stadium here in Wuhan, as the Koreans have forced their second corner in the opening 9 minutes. And yes, it was Japan who started the brighter. You might think there aren't that many headed goals in women's football, but you'd be wrong. There are more in women's football at World Cups than there are in the men's competition. One statistic that always surprises people. And as you can see, Mai Kyokawa is one of those in there trying to defend this corner kick, which is into a dangerous sort of area. Cleared about a foot away from the line. Korea still have plenty of players forward, and then they could find themselves well exposed here to a counter-attack. Japan are keeping it going, but in dribs and drabs. But it's been lovely football that they've managed to play here in creating the opening as the ball is cleared safely. And both sides have little skirmishes there in the opposition penalty boxes. And both defences survived. It's a lively enough opening. We're in front of an enthusiastic crowd here in Wuhan. The Koreans have finished second in this competition in 2005 and 2008. They didn't play in 2010, and they won it for the very first time 2 years ago. Well, all the chances that have been created so far, and there have been 2 or 3, have come as a result of defensive errors. Kitihara. Costa Kohata. Well, accurate passing is normally the name of the game for the Japanese, but this one's a fraction too long from Sugita for the left fullback Takara. Now, it's beautifully taken down, a lovely piece of play from Kawamura. The Korean player was quicker to the ball there, seizing on that loose pass. That's equally loose and gone straight over the top, over to the far side to Kiyokawa in the right back position. This one's a little bit loose as well, back to Yamane. Oh, but that's an excellent piece of skill. Lovely piece of play here down the left-hand side from Takara. Don't think anybody quite read the intention of that pass. It was laid forward by Kamyanobe, one of those who played in the World Cup finals in Canada. It's been a very warm day as we have a look at the coach there. The coach on the Korean side, Kim Kwang-min. in charge for quite a few years now. Great pride in women's football, both in Korea and Japan. The only really success in the men's game in the World Cups came, of course, in 2002 when Korea reached the semi-finals. To lose to Germany in Seoul, but this is very much the women's contest in the East Asian Cup. Japan now do have an opportunity with 4 forward. Once again, the final ball didn't have quite the quality required, but the football's been enterprising enough. The Korean back 4 seem very happy to pass the ball around between one another, but they do run the risk of getting closed off like that, and then if they lose possession they will be in trouble. And that's exactly what has happened. They have lost it, and it's picked up by Kawamura from Velgata Sendai. Left-sided is Arimachi. Decent ball up here, and a good grab of it from Hong Myong-hui. And an intelligent throw from her too. Well, whenever they need to win the ball, the Japanese seem able to do so. Back it went to Kohata. There's a lot of space on this big pitch in the Wuhan Stadium, but that's a rather weak ball from Sugita. Not punished, as the Koreans are guilty of losing the possession rather cheaply. And then there's a lovely ball played by Kamiyanobe, taken up by Kawamura. Japan play the ball around in little triangles, looking to pierce that Korean back line, with Kawamura very prominent in these early exchanges. The height of the Korea DPR defence crucial there. There's a good win of the ball from Kim Nam-hui. And we haven't had many free kicks, but there's got to be one here. The foul by the player I've just been mentioning, Yuri Kawamura, who's winning her 18th cap today. It was almost 50 of one and half a dozen of the 6 of one, half a dozen of the other there in the challenge with Kim Un-ju. So it's the turn of the Koreans to look to find a way through and to score the first goal of this East Asian Cup of 2015. The men playing tomorrow, identical fixtures. Maybe they'll be able to provide us with the early goal that's been lacking tonight, or maybe we'll get one here now, because a free kick's been awarded by the Australian, Lita Rebel-Casey, to Korea DPR. This is why they've been awarded it. Perhaps they're clumsy more than anything on the part of Arimachi. The foul on Kim Un-hyang. Goalkeeper Yamane, who's 3 times suffered broken toes. One of the players here is Yoon Song-mi. She's number 2 and the left-footed one. The other player involved is Kim Un-ju. Take your pick. Oh, well, that fooled everybody. It was cleverly done, and it still nearly created an opportunity, and the final shot that comes in is miles high off the right boot of Kim Un-ju. 22-year-old central midfielder. The Japanese coach looking on. He never seems to give much away. He's found a way through to Sugita. Better first touch from her on that occasion than the previous one. And she lost possession rather cheaply. It's been a particularly sultry day here in China. A decent ball in. Once again, the white shirts were all around. The Japanese right-sided player is Mai Kyokawa from the Kobe-based ENEC club. Very left-footed. Flies this one across, but an easy grab for Hong Yong-hui. The crowd is building in the stadium here, which is not surprising, as later this evening we see the Chinese ladies team taking on Korea Republic. So a big crowd expected for that one in support of the national side here. China have never won the women's title in the East Asian Cup, but on home soil, who knows? It should be an advantage for them. The Koreans are strong, physically very strong, but eventually Sugita is able to pick up the ball and instigate another move forward for the Nadeshiko. Always good on the ball, always able to look up while in possession, see where the next pass is coming from and going to, but they lost it again. But this is one player against three, so the odds heavily against the Korean. He has held it up well. The goalkeeper had to be, the goalkeeper had to be alert there as the shot came in. I was going to say the referee had to be pushed aside by one of the Korean players to get that opportunity, which Yamane couldn't get to, but it did eventually go wide. But that's a couple of efforts we've seen now from Kim Un-ju, willing to have a try from anywhere. In the 20th minute of the match. 0-0 still the scoreline. In fact, the last time these two teams met in the East Asian Cup, it finished 0-0 in Hwaseong, near Incheon in Korea. Now, good possession from the DPR Korea side here. And that was a great header from Sugita. Only about 5'5", but she really climbed into a header there to win the ball against a taller opponent. And here is Sugita with the ball at her feet. Let's see what she can do with it here. It's a rather trickling pass, and well, that's a very ambitious effort from Kawamura. It must be such a thrill for these players to take part in this competition in such a magnificent stadium. The official capacity is over 53,000 here. That's another poor ball from the Korean defender. And that's an equally poor ball from the Japanese midfielder, and the ball is through the middle here. A bit of control. The Koreans could be in for the first goal of the match, and the challenge is going to be a penalty. And the opportunity here for the Democratic People's Republic of Korea to score first. Ra Un-sim, predictably, was the player who got into space and was taken down. And it will be a yellow card for the defender Kyokawa as well, as the referee from Australia took his time and then pointed to the spot. Here it is once again. And I don't think there's much doubt that the referee has got that one right. And Ra Un-sim has done the job for Korea DPR yet again. Such a prolific player for her country over so many years. And she induced the foul from Kyokawa. Some rather withering looks from the Japanese players there as the ball is handed over. Not to Ra Un-sim, but to Kim Un-ju. She's already had 2 shots in the last few minutes, But an opportunity for Kim Eun-ju to strike the first goal of the East Asian Cup in the women's event of 2015. She'll be right-footed. Has to wait for the whistle. Key moment already. And she's foiled by Yamane, the 6'2" goalkeeper at full stretch there. Foils Kim Eun-ju, who never looked too confident in the run-up, it has to be said. And it's an escape for Japan without question. Will they be lifted by that? It was not the most confidently struck penalty you've ever seen, it has to be said. And a big miss from Kim Eun-ju in the 22nd minute of the game. They'll come again. Well, there's plenty of belief in this Korean side. There are 3 forward here. It's got to come into the wider position. That's exactly where it does go. The opportunity once again there, but rather hesitant on the right touchline, it has to be said, in moving forward there. Wee Jong-sim and enabling Kayokawa, the one who gave away the penalty and was yellow carded, to get in a telling tackle. Still 0-0 then, halfway through the opening half. But the Koreans enjoying the last few moments. They do look strong and resourceful. And that's curled away from the goalkeeper. A rather weak shot coming through from the midfielder Ju Hyo-sim. But it's Japan who have struggled in the last few minutes to assert any authority. Here we see it again, right-footed, far too straight, and it made a simple effort from Yamane to keep it out. And she knew she hadn't got any ferocity into that shot whatsoever. No pace and no real direction. But it is the Democratic People's Republic who continue to take the game to the opposition. Kim Won-hyang with the throw. Kim Won-hyang with the ball across through the centre. There was a danger just for a moment of a Japanese interception. The Koreans are definitely growing in confidence, even despite missing that opportunity. And there's a real error, giving that ball away. And now could the Japanese punish them? Not so from Sagasawa. Oh, that's a lovely run, a great run to latch onto the pass there. And this is impressive football from the Koreans. And the shot was clipped away from the big toe of the Japanese defender, Kitahara. The Japanese have competed in this event every time. They were third in 2005. The winners in 2008 and 2010, and second 2 years ago. They are currently fourth in the FIFA rankings. Korea down in 8th. So Japan did start as the favourites, but they're being certainly tested this evening. More than tested. There's the number 11 of the Korean side, Ri Ye-gyong, who scored 4 times at the 2008 Under-20 World Cup in Chile, including a goal against Brazil. Not many people have that on their resume. Well, surprisingly, that ball didn't even have the pace to get as far as the goal line. So Yamane was able to just trot across, and now she sizes up the options. Japan's next game will be against Korea Republic here on Tuesday evening. It's the men's turn tomorrow. All 12 matches have been played here in this International Sports Centre in Wuhan, in mid-China. A lovely play again from Kawamura. She appears to be perhaps the most talented player in there, and the header is wide, but it was a great opening. Lovely ball from Kawamura, header from Arimachi, took it wide. The angle was great for her. Kawamura picking her out, she made the run in there and then just got in front of her colleague and directed it high and wide. Still a warm and sticky evening here in Wuhan, with Japan easing their way back into this game through Sagasawa now. They played in the World Cup finals recently. Touched in field by Kamiyanobe, who's been involved in this move twice and has made a run up the outside left channel. But most of the impressive play so far for me has come from Kawamura, the 26-year-old from Niigata. But we are in the 30th minute here in Wuhan without a goal as yet, though we have had a missed penalty. And a few misplaced passes too. But this will be a free kick against the Japanese and against Sagasawa, winning her 35th cap this evening. And goalkeeper Hong Myung-hui, clad all in orange, I would describe it this evening, to take this free kick for DPR Korea. Once again, the height there was crucial. I'll say that Rika Masuya is the tallest outfield player on the pitch and used her height well. Sagasawa's come deep to help Japan win the ball. Now they look very square here to the Korean defenders. As Japan are flooding forward, they have half a dozen players into good positions. Didn't get the free kick, but or have they got the free kick? No, it's gone against Japan. Officials have to make decisions. So this was a 50-50 confrontation, and the whistle went against Arimachi, the Japanese, for a free kick for Korea DPR. Well, we don't have any vuvuzelas here, a la the World Cup finals in South Africa in 2010, but we do have some pretty loud trumpet-sounding noises coming from the stands. There will be more, I assure you, when China play later this evening against Korea Republic. And although China have never won this tournament, so they have actually beaten the Koreans on a couple of occasions. The way this game's going, who knows, the first goal might come in that match. Let's hope we get some here. It's been bright enough. And that was enterprising play once again from the Democratic People's Republic, and it breaks in here to Raon Sim. Takes 3 to keep her at bay. And this time there is no way through for Kim Un-hyang, who'd shown good dribbling skills a moment earlier to forge a position. routine take of the ball from the right back Kiyokawa. Gradual progression down the pitch involving Takara. But both sides guilty of rather cheaply losing the possession. This one's over the top. If the flag stays down, which it doesn't, so there would have been an opportunity. But the flag is raised against Masuya. The flag of the Australian assistant, the Rene Coghill. And the free kick for Japan with the scoreline locked at 0-0 with 33 minutes played and 12 to go in this opening half. There's been a lot of winning of the ball tonight from both sides. It's been retaining the possession that's been the problem, but here go Korea. Oh, that's wonderful play. Coming back to take the ball off the toe end of the striker there. Masuya. But Kiyomida does pose a big problem. She is the tallest player on the field. We saw her at the Asian Games last year. And she caused mayhem to some of the defenders from, dare we say, the lesser footballing countries, the likes of Vietnam and Hong Kong. And this is an opening once again. Tanake involved. Yamane, the goalkeeper, organising. And Yoon Sung-mi to take this one, left-footed. The goalkeeper's chosen to take the near post at the moment. Now she hops over towards the other side, so is centrally located. There's Yoon Sung-mi, tends to fire this one in. Can she find anybody in the white shirt of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea in there? It is a lovely one, and it's the first goal of the 2015 East Asian Cup. And there is joy for the Koreans. They were so disappointed when the penalty was missed by Kim Un-ju. But this is a brilliantly executed free kick from Yoon Sung-mi. And the first goal is scored. It may well have been Ri Ye-gyong who got the final touch on it. Let's have a look. It was floated in here over the top of the 4 Japanese players. And it was indeed the number 11, Ri Ye-gyong, who stole in through the Japanese defence to get that subtle touch and put the ball into the net wide of Yamane. It's DPR Korea 1, Japan 0. A well-celebrated goal, and the first of the East Asian Cup of this year. So, can the Japanese hit back immediately? That's what they're trying to do, and they do have 3 or 4 forward here. It's an immediate response from the favourites, who find themselves trailing and in possession in a decent area. Oh, it's just gone through and all the way through to the goalkeeper. So the goal came in the 35th minute. This is a stadium that saw 20 goals scored in the 6 matches played in the 2007 Women's World Cup here. The likes of Brazil played here. Denmark, Germany, and Korea DPR, who didn't have a happy time because they got beaten 3-0 by Germany, but they've registered the first goal tonight. And I think they just about deserve it, having missed the penalty as well. Taking the throw-in, the person who took the free kick, Yoon Sung-mi. There's the goal scorer, Ri Ye-gyong, who played in the Olympic Games in 2012, and the Koreans are looking for a second here when it's sliced straight up in the air by Ami Saguta. They're in trouble again at Japan here. The ball was back-heeled into the area, but Japan this time come away unscathed. But the World Cup finalists in Canada last month are in trouble. And the goal adrift. Ooh, that might just be a free kick. player is chopped down, and it will be a free kick and a yellow card for Young Song Mi. No complaints either from the fullback. It's the second booking so far this evening. The first having been Mai Kiyokawa, the Japanese defender, for the penalty that she conceded. When you think about that, it means that Democratic People's Republic should be 2 goals ahead already. But they aren't because of Yamane's save from Kim Eun-ju. Japan looking to hit back in the closing 8 minutes of the opening half. Oh, and it's headed back towards her own goal by the Korean midfield player. The movement off the ball of the Koreans is excellent, and here's a good example of that, and a big gap being created, but it's not the sort of pass that was intended, really. There is the player who was yellow carded a moment ago, Young Song Mi, who will be more pleased to talk about the free kick which led to the goal. The only goal of the game so far. The onus very much on the Japanese then. Sugita. And she's taken down. Once again a free kick against the Koreans. Korea quite willing to take the game to the opposition, try and probe and force errors. And it was from a set piece that they profited. Not a good clearance from Yamane, straight out, and the Japanese coach, not used to being in this position. They're approaching a century of existence, the Japanese, founded as long ago as 1921. So 94 years they've been going, and a member of FIFA since 1929. Throwing from Kim Eun-hyang. She managed to pick out the only white shirt that was available, and the white shirts still have the possession as a result. With the goal scorer Ri Gyeong playing the latest pass wide, then it's back into the heart of the penalty area, but straight out for the goal kick. We've had exactly 40 minutes. It's PRK 1, Japan 0. And here it is again, delightfully executed, and what a good touch that is, a really subtle touch. Goalkeeper at the other end, jubilant, as you would expect. Just glad it wasn't her being beaten. Now Japan moving more fluidly. Lovely movement off the ball again, and this is a much more impressive attack from the Japanese. They need something on the end of it, and they have it! What a save! That's an absolutely fantastic reflex stop by Hong Young-yu. How she got down to that one, goodness only knows. There's the ball in, and there's the little flick of the head, and it was just a mere flick of the head as well from Arimachi on the cross of Takara. But the goalkeeper has performed heroics there to keep this one out. Absolutely superb goalkeeping from Hong Yong-hui. Corner Japan nonetheless, to be taken by Kamyanobe, the oldest member of the squad. Good player, played in the World Cup finals recently, gets it into a danger zone. Although the Koreans cover their tracks, they were rather fortunate there. The ball broke to the only player in a white shirt around. And what's more, it's a springboard for another impressive Korean attack, which has already covered 50 yards. And they've got 6 or 7 forward already here. It's Japan on the back foot once again. The cross will be an easy gather for Yamane. Well, it's been lively. We've had 42 minutes, 1 goal, 1 missed penalty, 2 bookings. What more do you want? Picked up far side by Kiyokawa. Oh, a lovely ball played again by Kawamura. Out as far as Takara. Some of the Japanese touches are exquisite, but they've not found a finish yet. But as recently as 2 minutes ago, that was only down to the superb goalkeeping of Hong Yong-hui after the glancing header from Saori Arimachi. Another crunching challenge that the referee will see fit to produce a yellow card for. This time it's Kitihara. 3 yellow cards shown by the Australian official in this first half. Kitihara, the 16-year-old, is the latest and has no excuses really. Diving in on the back of the opponent there, really taking her down without much hope of winning the ball. Kitihara follows Kiyokawa into the book. Well, they scored from a free kick in the 35th minute, and here we are in the 44th minute, 9 minutes on, and Korea looking for a second before half-time. They won't get it from that. Masuya there, tiny little figure. Ball that should be the goalkeeper, she missed it completely. Well, that was a strange episode indeed. The goalkeeper Yamane going towards the ball and almost running past it and missing it completely. Rather unimpressive defending from Japan on that occasion. As we move towards the last 45 seconds of the half, with Japan still trailing by a goal and caught offside. Yeah, there were 2 off. So it's beginning to look as though the Democratic People's Republic of Korea will lead at the interval on this one. As the message goes up from the 4th official that there will be 2 added minutes. Thank you to Mai Hwang-tran. At least Japan do have the possession, if not yet the territorial advantage they're seeking. Decent ball through the gap there. Wide is Takara. Two minutes of additional time, as you can see from the caption. Korea would just look to play out these closing seconds of the half and almost committed the cardinal sin of playing Japan in there inside their own half. Well, this should be kept in play. The Koreans' job is to push up on the Japanese defence, not allow them any freedom here as they are eager to get forward. Got to stay on side, and that they've managed to do, but the ball is overhit and will be picked up by the goalkeeper. You saw there the anguished look of Sagasawa, the number 9 of Japan, who's had no real striking opportunities. And it looks like we're going to get to the whistle any moment now, with the Koreans in the lead. And take their time over this one, and indeed that is the next act from referee Casey. The Koreans have a single goal advantage thanks to Ri Ye-gyong there, who almost toe-poked in a lovely free kick from Young Song-mi, which got in behind the entire Japanese defence. Earlier, Kim Won-ju had failed to punish a mistake by Kiyokawa, who brought down Rao Sim, and a missed penalty didn't deflate the Koreans at all. They lead by 1-0 at the break. So all to do for the Japanese in the second half. Two hard-working teams. It's been an excellent game of football. The fans enjoying themselves in the warmth of Wuhan. And the half-time score, DPR Korea 1, Japan 0. A reminder that later this evening, the women's match between China and Korea Republic will take place here in the stadium in Wuhan. But the initial game of this East Asian Cup in the women's event of 2015 brought together Korea, DPR and Japan, who'd drawn in the last meeting 2 years ago. 0-0 the score then. Lovely blue sky, as you can see, still early evening here around the stadium. 10 minutes past 7 now, and it was 20 past 6 when the teams came out for this inaugural fixture of the event. The two captains shaking hands, Yuri Kawamura for Japan and Ra-un Sim for Korea DPR. There was the tactics board, and it was Japan who hustled in there first of all, and the first shot of the match came from Ami Sugita, but it was swayed at goalkeeper Hong Myung-hui. Despite the presence of so many Korean defenders, the Koreans were always willing to run at the opposition, and this was a moment when they did, with Ra-un Sim involved in the move, and it produced a shot not a long way off the mark from Kim Un-ju, who was to be heavily involved throughout the minutes surrounding that incident. And here was the next one, when the ball was played in between two defenders, and Ra-un Sim, as she's done so many times over the years, galloping into the penalty area to be taken down by Kiyokawa, the Japanese defender, who was booked for that tackle. No question in the referee's mind that it was a penalty kick, but that spot kick was a really weak one from Kim Un-ju. It lacked direction, it lacked any venom, and enabled Erin Yamane to make a routine save. So disappointment for the Korean coach, Kim Kwang-min, and there was almost more disappointment with the ball that was played in there and the header from Arimachi going wide for the Japanese just moments after that missed penalty kick. But then this free kick was the most defining moment of the half. A lovely delivery from Yoon Sung-mi and the finish from Ri Ye-gyung, and the Korean supporters in the crowd here in Wuhan celebrating. 1-0 it was. Perfect. Traditional rivals these, and Japan came back very quickly indeed, and that was a lovely ball played in by Ryoka Takada, and the glancing header from Saori Arimachi produced the save of the night without question from Hong Myung-hui. And so at half-time it is that the Democratic People's Republic of Korea lead Japan by 1-0. And there you have the major statistics of the half, with Japan having slightly more possession, Korea more corners, a lot of fouls committed by Japan, 8 to just 1. And the offside flag has been raised 3 times.
感谢李修德给我们带来如此精彩的歌曲。接下来，发布告，下半场的比赛即将开始。The early joining song from 李修德 So elderly be patient. The second half is about coming.
Welcome back to the Wuhan Sports Center here in China. Some very enthusiastic Korean supporters there from the Democratic People's Republic, and well, might they be enthusiastic. Their side is a goal ahead through Ri Ye-gyong on the end of a super free kick from Yun Song-mi, and it's been a very competitive fixture in this opening match of the women's competition in the East Asian Cup, with 3 players already booked. The aforementioned Yun Song-mi of DPR Korea, one of them, and 2 of the Japanese defenders, Kana Kitahara and Mai Kiyokawa. As the Nadeshiko come out in all blue, Korea in all white, and looking down to the touchline, it doesn't appear as though there will be any substitutions. Our referee there from Australia, Lisa Rebelt-Casey. So a bit of a talking to from the Japanese players. The tall figure of the goalkeeper, 6 feet 2 inch tall, Erin Yamane, who was beaten by that glancing touch from the goal scorer Ri Ye-gyong. This is a round-robin format. There are 6 matches played in the women's event and 6 matches played in the men's, which starts tomorrow, with identical fixtures to the 2 we're witnessing here this evening. And we're underway in the second half, with the Koreans now playing from right to left as you look at it, and you join us here with our pictures coming to you from the Wuhan Sports Center in China. Six of the Japanese squad played at the World Cup finals in Canada last month. By no means have all of them started this evening, though. But it's a good opportunity for the 2 coaches, Norio Sasaki of Japan and Kim Kwang-min of Korea DPR, to have a look at other players. And that may be the case throughout all 3 fixtures, as the Japanese are forward here with one of their World Cup players, the number 9 figure of Sagasawa. The pass wasn't quite good enough, but neither is that one, and Japan do have an opportunity to build again. Starting from central midfield, here will be the first shot of the half, and it goes wide without taking a touch. The Australian referee pointing to a goal kick. Slight look of bewilderment on the face of the goalkeeper, Hong Myong-hui, who made an absolutely top draw save in the first half from a glancing header from Saori Arimachi. That save was good enough to keep her team ahead. And they will try and attack now down this left touchline, but the ball is just touched out by the goal scorer. There she is, number 11, played at the World Cup finals in Germany in 2011. The Korea DPR side have never won the Women's World Cup, but they have won at under-17 level in New Zealand in 2008. 2007, 8 earns a trip, and that was a needless foul, and it's a rather stupid concession there. Kim Un-ha clipping the ankle of the opponent, and a free kick will accrue from this for the Japanese. One for them by Masuya. Here she goes. Rika Masuya is a very clever, a very deft player. She's just clipped there, and this free kick will come from a position close to the corner flag. So not quite an identical one from the one that the Koreans scored. The first job is not to put this one too close to the goalkeeper. And it will be Kamiyanobe, who plays for Albirex Niigata, who's left-footed. Just whispering sweet nothings into her ear there is Ami Sugita as to what to do with this free kick. There's always somebody on hand to give you advice. So free kick Japan, trailing by a goal. Left-footed. And it is flicked through and should be the equaliser for the Japanese. And what a time for them to score so early in the half. Sugita in the right place, and Japan are level within 3 minutes of the resumption, and it's brought all the Japanese players onto the running track here in Wuhan. Absolute glory then for Japan. Floated in there, and there were a few bodies around, And who got the final touch in there? Well, it was that tiny little figure of Rika Masuya. And it's Korea DPR 1, Japan 1. And Masuya scores her 3rd goal for her country in her 8th appearance. She is prolific. There was a push actually in there, which might have yielded a penalty anyway. It doesn't matter because the ball found its way into the net. Masuya equalises for Japan. 1-1. So it's a game on again here in Wuhan. So this East Asian Cup has got off to a riveting start with both sides on the scoreboard already. And coach Norio Sasaki, whatever he said in the dressing room at half-time has paid off. Japan did create openings in the first half, but were either foiled by the goalkeeping heroics of Hong Myung-hui or else their own inability to hit the target. And that should certainly give them a lift. And this may give the Koreans a lift, however. Into the penalty area, Ra-un-sim, she'll check, turn. And they're queuing up the shot in here, and the Japanese defence were all at sea just for a moment. But they do wrest the initiative back and work the ball forward towards Arimachi. It's such an expansive pitch, this. It's a big, wide open area. And I think the girls are enjoying themselves out here. That will be a corner. Forced for the Japanese by Masuya, who's having a big effect. There she is, Masuya, one of the more experienced players in the side. Even though she's still only 19 years of age. People perspiring in the crowd on a very warm and sultry evening as the Japanese look to find a lead within 6 minutes of having been behind. The corner from Amisogita. Should be curled away from the goalkeeper. And she has the height, and it's a good fist away, but it's still going to come in there, but unable to keep it down. It's high over the top of the Korean crossbar this time from the right foot of Saori Arimachi, and it's still 1-1. It's often hard to estimate the size of a crowd in such a big stadium. Remember, this one holds 53,000, but it's going to be pretty full by the time the Chinese come out to play here against Korea Republic. That match kicking off at 9 o'clock in the evening here in Wuhan. Oh, that's lovely football. Super play from Japan involving Sagasawa. So the Koreans can counter, but for a header back by Kitihara. Now Yamane, such an imposing figure in green. The Japanese playing with a flat back four at the moment. It was interesting that some of the coaches yesterday were talking about using different organisations or different systems during the 3 matches they have here. That's a giveaway from Yamane. And the Koreans looking to get the lead back. They went ahead 10 minutes before half-time, but have already been pegged back. And that will be a goal kick. The Korean's coach is Kim Kwang-min. There he is, assisted by his team manager, Ri Choi-chung. The short goal kick, oh dear. Well, that really was poor. The goal kick from Yamane, and it wasn't kept in by Kitihara. And it affords the Korean side the opportunity to attack from this position when really the ball should have been up around the halfway line. Song Mi's pass. She has it again. Japan trying to force the issue there. Plenty getting forward. Now it's their turn to have to defend, and this will be a free kick. I'm wondering if the referee will produce that yellow card again. The answer is no, and there's an apology from Kawamura. It's a strenuous challenge on the danger player Raum Sim. Already taken that free kick and cleverly hooked over the shoulder for Japanese relief. Very quick, a lot of these players. They'll chase lost causes, and it is the Japanese who have this throw-in now. So that lady's goal in the first half cancelled out by Sasaki's side in the second. Now you see the first inkling that we may have some substitutions here. There's 4 of the Japanese substitutes in the pink tops come racing out. Oh, it looks as though they're going to go racing back. Fooled you. Throwing Japan, taken by Takara. Sugita. Maybe a chance here for Japan. They've 4 forward around the penalty area. Needs one good ball in here, but that one is going to be wide and will drift out rather aimlessly over by the corner flag, which is never an easy place to take a throw in. Sugita. Japan definitely playing better at the start of this half than they did in the first. As they move the ball crisply along the back line. Always fencing for openings, and the referee says play on here. I think the Korean defender thought the ball may have gone out over the sideline. There was an arm raised by Kim Won-hyang. And it is the Japanese who are having most of the possession. If you remember those statistics at half-time, told us Japan had 51% of the ball in the first half to Korea's 49%. And this is lovely flowing football from the Japanese, and the final ball just didn't quite get through there. Otherwise they would have been in a shooting position again. But there is an inkling that we may have a substitution shortly. A shot of Kim Soo-gyong, the April the 25th player, on the bench. So the Koreans haven't really got going in this second half. Maybe they will here now. They're really finding it difficult to make tracks once they get over the halfway line. They lose the ball. Always there'll be a supporting and overlapping fullback, and that's what the Japanese have here. So it does eventually fall at the foot of Takara. Has to go a long way back, however. And then Kawamura. For me, the most gifted player out there. They're still not making that possession count as much as they would like. That's a clever ball to dissect the 2 defenders. But no way through again for Masuya. We've had 12.5 minutes of the second half here in Wuhan, with Japan having got the goal that brought us all square again. China to meet Korea Republic later. Korea Republic bringing their entire World Cup squad from Canada. Plus 5 more, as we see again the equalising goal. There was the free kick. And, well, it could have gone absolutely anywhere. There was a Japanese player who was bowled over as a prelude to the strike, which came from Rika Masuya. There we have the Korean figure about to enter the fray. Number 7, stepping into the spotlight. A 20-year-old who made 3 appearances at the World Cup finals of 2011 at the age of 16 in Germany. She played 3 matches there. And soon we'll see a bit more of Kim Soo-gyong. Cramp appears to be the problem here. One of those dreadful afflictions. And it's an opportune moment for all the players to take some water. I've said it's a very sultry atmosphere here this evening as we have a look at the Democratic People's Republic supporters. Long way from Pyongyang. Well, it is the most gruesome pain. Having to be lifted onto the stretcher is the player Wee Jong-sim, only 17, played at the Under-17 World Cup in Trinidad and Tobago, and she is the one who will be replaced by Kim Soo-gyong. With almost an hour played. So play can resume after what seemed quite a lengthy interruption. The Australian referee there will add on whatever time she sees fit. And play will resume with a throw from Yoon Sung-mi, the one who set up the goal for the Koreans 10 minutes before the interval. And this was the lady who scored it. Booted away rather aimlessly, but it doesn't matter because it found another Japanese player. But now possession is lost, and this is the opportunity here, and her first touch of the ball for the substitute Kim Soo-gyong. Let's see what she can do. Comes on with plenty of fresh running. No whistle this time. So we're going through a strange period with not a lot happening in the last 2 or 3 minutes because of the stoppages. And yeah, just a calm down message from the referee to Kim Yun-mi, who's boisterous, shall we say, in that particular challenge on Aramachi, who grimaced. And the Japanese will be the next to make an alteration in their lineup, with the Kumiyoka Yama to come on, and you can see the number 13 in the hand of the official, the 4th official from Vietnam, which means that Japan will be bringing off Maya Kiyokawa, the one who gave away the penalty and was booked. I'm not saying that's any bearing on this. And Yokoyama comes on. Yokoyama is not from Yokohama. She's from Nagano. Good clearing header for the Koreans. And what's more, it's found Ra-eun Sim into the wider position for Ri Yi-gyung as the Koreans look to have the lead back again. And here is their talisman striker. And where was the final touch from? It was from the Japanese coming back. There's confirmation for you there of the substitution, which sees Yokoyama on. Back will come Masuya to help defend. And indeed, the Japanese are bringing all 11 players back here, taking nothing to chance. And the eventuality that this corner is going to come into the mix. One crucial touch is all that is required, and it's a good catch. She should be able to deal with those. Much taller than anybody else out there. And Yamane did the job. Good to see her back playing after that injury she picked up, the dislocated shoulder at the World Cup finals. Her only appearance against the Netherlands. Japan so disappointed to lose that final to the United States by 5 goals to 2. The game was won and lost in the first 20 minutes or so. of Lloyd's hat-trick. Of course, by the very nature and the rules of this competition, we don't have things like extra time and penalty kicks. If it's a draw, it's a draw. A round-robin format. The Japanese due to move on to their next fixture against the Korea Republic. And the Koreans to meet China. There's that tiny figure of Sugita, the only one from the Iga footballing club in Japan. That's a lovely piece of play. And once again, it was Kawamura who was at the heart of it all. Now there's a one-on-one situation developing here. And if the Korean gets there, they could be in front again. She keeps it cool, she pulls it back, and Korea lead for the second time in the match. And it was well created. The Japanese were really caught asunder there. And once the 50-50 situation had developed and been won by the Koreans, this sort of huddle was only to be expected. Korea DPR lead Japan by 2-1, and it's the second time they've stolen in front. Well, what a night this is turning out to be for Ri Yi-gyung. Right place, right time for the second time. And here's the break. This is the ball that did it. It's a lovely ball played by the striker Kim Yun-mi, and then it's pulled back Ri Sun-yi, and it touched home. Ran Sim did the hard work here. She won that one-on-one with Kohata, and then when she played it across, she had great presence of mind and beating the despairing challenge of Kitihara. It's a second goal on the night for Ri Ye-gyung, and Korea DPR lead again with 65 minutes played. So the onus is on the Japanese for a second time. Ran Sim just can't control it on this occasion. Well, almost a year ago, these two teams met in the final of the Asian Games in Incheon. And on that occasion, the Koreans won, but by 3-1. So they have form. Well, what a bright start we've had to this East Asian Cup here. 3 goals scored already, plenty of incidents to talk about for the fans here. And don't forget another match to come, involving our hosts from China. It's pulled back into the danger zone again, and the Japanese are living dangerously. But they do have the capacity to hit back. And a 2-on-2 situation developing here. Now the third player manages to join in. But not on the same wavelength there. The final ball was a poor one from Masuya. Hadn't really read the intentions of colleagues up front. So Japan have 23 minutes left. We're halfway through the second half in Wuhan. 23 minutes left in which to rescue this and get at least a point from the match. Otherwise, Korea DPR will be taking 3 points into the next game. No doubt as to who the leading goal scorer is in the tournament. Here go the Japanese. Should be an exciting last 20 minutes because they have to throw everything at it. Remember, they've not beaten the Democratic People's Republic in this tournament since 2008. Ching ching. But 20 minutes, well, 22 minutes in a football match is a long time. And there's a very weak giveaway of the ball, and it encourages Japan on. Kaminobi thought she'd go for the long-range shot. Didn't have the impact desired. It's been a very sporting contest, despite the 3 yellow cards. They've just come from rather vigorous challenges, which is what you expect in any match. And the Japanese look to hit back here and don't do anything rash, just play the ball from one side of the field to the other. Just look for the next blue shirt. Japan hit back perfectly at the start of this half. Now they have to do so again, but things are opening up here, and the Japanese could prosper. They've 3 forward. Can they find a second equaliser? Well, she was fairly walked on that occasion, and then wins it back as well. That's great strength, and there are plenty of Japanese players in here. Who will it break to? It'll come for the shot. What a ripper! That's an absolutely classic goal, and Japan are back level at 2-2. The arms are raised, the goalkeeper can do nothing about that. It's the sort of goal that would go down in any stadium, and it was driven with mighty force by Emishiguta. What a strike! Suddenly it's the Japanese who have a time to celebrate, and it's a wonderful moment for her. Ami Sugita, her first ever international goal in only her 2nd ever appearance. She may be a tiny figure, but she packs a mighty punch. That's 25 yards out, and it flies into the corner beyond the fingers of Hong Myung-hui, who made one classic stop in the first half. 2 goalkeepers wouldn't have kept that one out, and it's 2-2 here between Korea, DPR and Japan. The game's turning into a cracker. Well, she will never ever forget her first international goal, Ami Sugita. And we've had 70 minutes. Well, I said we could expect a rip-roaring last 20, and that is certainly going to be the way of it in Wuhan. DPRK 2, Japan 2. Well, she looks as though she's just done nothing special. It's just what she was expected to do. But it was way and above expectation, was that. And it gives Japan new heart. You don't reach World Cup finals without having a lot of talent and a lot of heart. But here come the Koreans again, forging openings for themselves. The substitute on the ball there was Kim Soo-gyong. A lovely header back by the strong Segasawa. And the Japanese are showing more strength as they come again here now. There are 3 forward in this move. There are 5 Koreans back to defend, however. It's a really eye-catching opening game, and it's the Koreans' turn now to challenge once more down this left touchline with Ra Un-sim. Can she prove a hero yet again? Tries to squeeze it through by the near upright, and it's just kept out. You can't take your eyes off this one for a second. And Ra Un-sim from Amrok Gang, the only player from that club in the Korean lineup, hits it left-footed. It was snaking just inside the upright until Yamane got down to keep it out. 2-2 the scoreline. Korea's corner as they look to lead for a 3rd time. Japan should be able to take care of that one without too much difficulty, and they do cater for it. 2 sides with contrasting strengths, and another opening for the Koreans, who lead for the 3rd time. And it was sliced into the net, and what a night this is for Ri Yong-gyong. She has a hat-trick. Oh, or does she not? No, the flag has ruled it out, and that's major disappointment for her. Was she offside? Not sure. Well, there it is, she was. That's a very good call indeed. from the referee's assistant on the far side, Liu Shi-mei from Taipei. Otherwise it was 3-2, with the same woman having scored all 3 times. It would have been a first ever international hat-trick as well for Ri Ye-gyung, who's on the ball again. There's nothing to stop her at the moment. A reminder, it is still 2-2. We get very excited whenever we see the ball going to the net, but they don't all count. But they're coming once and again with Ra-un Sim, who has the dexterity. She's also just popped this one a bit too far over there. I'm not sure it'll even go out of play. It won't. Ra-un Sim looking more dangerous by the minute, though, in these closing 17 minutes of the contest. The Koreans are certainly not overawed by the opposition. Well, the goals have been of all sorts of quality, really. The first goal for the Koreans with the ball into the Japanese penalty area. No free kick there. And Ri Ye-gyung stabbing it home on the free kick. And then the first Japanese equaliser in the opening couple of minutes of this second half, coming from Masuya. Cramp again the problem. Masuya scored when a colleague had actually been pushed over. That's a set piece, but she didn't hang around and blasted the ball high past the Korean goalkeeper. Here we have this look again as Ra-un Sim took on the defender, beat her, slipped it back across here, and that was 2 out of 2 for Ri Ye-gyung. But then this thunderous right foot, the shot from Ami Sugita, brought Japan level for a second time with 20 minutes to go, and it remains 2-2, the scoreline here in Wuhan. And the physiotherapists tend to be busy on nights like this. Again, we see Norio Sasaki calmly directing operations there for his side, which has bravely come back twice into this contest. Neither team is going to lay down here without trying to find a winner. It would be 1 point apiece, and it probably would be an appropriate scoreline, really. But it's the Koreans who are looking again. Down to 10 players at the moment. But also with Chu Hyo-sim likely to come back on any moment. There she comes, and we're back 11 aside. Just over 13 minutes remaining, and the sides have shared 4 goals. Can we see a 5th? Well, here is the hero of the moment with 2 of the 4 goals struck. Japan's opportunity to break here with Sagasewa, whose game is all about strength. She has scored 10 times for Japan in 35 appearances, including this evening, and netted in the World Cup finals against Cameroon last month. She's one of those up here, but the Koreans managed to get it away for Ju Hyun-sim, just back on after a band of cramp. Football is neat, and at times it's been penetrating. There's plenty of good movement off the ball from the Koreans, and it's laid up to the edge of that area. A check, a turn, a pass, and is there going to be a final shot? There is! Brilliant brilliantly taken once again. The Koreans are scoring some superb goals this evening. And who would get that one? Nobody other than Raun Sim, who has the Koreans on their feet again. She rarely goes 90 minutes without scoring a goal, and she's just obliged in the most satisfactory of manners. Raun Sim strikes the third for the Koreans. She's often netted against Japan in internationals down the years. It was the substitute who brought it down. But look, as she was surrounded by blue shirts and evaded all of them and slipped the ball wide of the goalkeeper coolly into the net. And that's typical Raun Sim, who scores yet again to give Korea DPR the lead for the third time on the night in Wuhan. It's Korea DPR 3, Japan 2, and we still have 12 minutes to go. She first scored against Japan in 2008 at the finals in Chile, the Under-20 World Cup finals. This is in the East Asian Cup, and she's given the Koreans the advantage once again. They lead by the odd goal in 5. Fasten your safety belts. If they get a fourth, you aren't sure that Japan will have the fortitude to hit back again, but if Japan can score a third, well, this one could still go either way. It's probably the most thrilling opening match there has ever been at an East Asian Cup in the 10 years it's been played. And we still have China, the hosts, to come tonight. As the Koreans have 3 forward here, Japan are in real trouble. If they get this one right, it could be the end of the contest. Raun Sim's there again, 4-2! And it's bliss for Korea. What a night, what a goal, what a match. Japan simply had no answer to that. And supporters all around are cheering, they're standing on their feet, they're applauding, and they are in total ecstasy. The referee's going to have to come and break up the party. I was talking earlier about the quality of the goals that we've seen. Well, here it's a 3-on-2 break, and when it is pulled back in there, you just know what she's going to do, but how do you stop her? She's got exquisite touch, and taking the pass there from Kim Yoon-mi, Raun Sim was always going to hit the target, swept it wide of the goalkeeper Yamane, and Korea DPR 4, Japan 2 is your scoreline in the opening game of the East Asian Cup of 2015. And you will not see better goals than the ones you've seen in this game. Well, you might do in the next match. This is the response from Japan. They are going to bring on... they're going to take Yoshihiko Kahata, who's had a tough time of it, the defender, in only her second appearance. And the player that they bring on is Magumi Takase, international striker. So it's a striker for a defender. Well, Magumi Takase is a really experienced player, but it's going to take all of her experience and more to turn this one around. With 8 minutes exactly remaining, the Japanese have a 2-goal deficit. It's been a blockbuster. We shall see whether they have the capacity to come back again now. But the Koreans are absolutely exuberant. Their football's been exhilarating as well. But they will have to defend now. That's a goalkeeper's catch. Safely done by Hong Min-hui. Oh, what a player she is. Little number 10 there, Ra Un-sim. They say some of the best things come in small packages. Well, she's ample proof of that. Two goals from her and 2 from Ri Yi-gyeong. Promise total fulfillment for the Koreans on this evening in China. Well, Japan do have the ball here now. Of course, they are such close rivals, these two, that they just hate getting beaten by the opposition. Regular opponents in a variety of competitions, of course. And opponents again here tomorrow evening in Wuhan in the men's competition. They'll have the identical fixtures, with Korea DPR taking on Japan and China up against Korea Republic. With a lot of coaches complaining already that their players are very tired. The J-League is up and running in Japan. Several players here coming from the clubs. And there is one Wuhan player in the Chinese squad. That match here to follow on at 9 o'clock this evening, which in just around about an hour's time. But for the moment, our focus very much on this one, which looks like producing 3 points for the Koreans. They lead 4-2, they have the possession, and they're in the Japanese half again. When it's lost, the blue shirts do move forward sharply. 3 of them. The score now would make it really interesting in these closing moments, and down goes goalkeeper Hong Myung-hui, just to keep the ball away from the little figure of Masuya. Ri Yi-gyeong leads Korea out. Free kick. Good decision that from the Australian referee, because the Japanese were going nowhere as a result of the foul by Ju Hyo-sim. So she blew the whistle belatedly, but it gave Japan the opportunity to take the free kick and to get into opposition territory as they do now. Japan have a chance here. Onside, but didn't have any great self-belief, I didn't feel there. So the run was unavailing. Masuya has been very influential in this match, but the coach is staring a defeat in the face at the moment, with less than 5 minutes to play, though there will be, I would think, at least 3 minutes of additional time, maybe 4. We've had a number of players suffering from cramp on this big playing area. That's not surprising. Korea here again. And this time they are balked by the clearance of Takara. Free kick Japan here. Awarded to the number 17, Arimachi, who had a lovely glancing header in the first half, which produced an absolutely astonishing save by the Korean goalkeeper. Now you see why the free kick was awarded. Player much too high, as this one is played right into the heart of the penalty area, and a comfortable take for the goalkeeper, who played at under 17, under 20 level in World Cup finals before the real thing. So it looks like being a night of a double celebration for the Korean double who've provided the goals. Ra Un-sim and Ri Yi-gyeong, 2 each. Japan coming back with 2 of their own, including perhaps the best goal of the night from Ami Sugita. But it looks like not being enough for Japan, who have to find a couple of minutes in the remaining 3, plus the added time. Stand back in here, they are creating chances for themselves inside and just outside that Japanese penalty area. Still looking for a hat-trick, and no penalty. Great call by the referee, not a penalty. Ri Yi-gyeong is not really going anywhere. But they still do have the possession, which is the crucial factor. And a long-range try, but a rather feeble one on this occasion from Kim Un-hyang. The boot was rather high. That will be a yellow card, without doubt. The boot was very high from the number 12, Kim Yun-mi, who is deservedly shown a yellow card there. Now, I don't think there was any great damage done on Yuri Kawamura. More damaging to her is the scoreline. Japan trailing 4-2. 90 seconds left. Ball into the danger zone, but the flag had gone up, the whistle sounds, and we are inside, or coming inside the last minute of this game, but with 3 or 4 minutes to be added. And there's going to be a yellow card here for the goalkeeper, I think, as well, for time wasting. There is. It's a yellow card for Hong Myung-hui. Those are needless sort of cautions, which can be reflected later in tournaments. If she was to get booked in the next match, she'd miss the 3rd game. I don't think that was uppermost in her thinking there, as we see that there will be 4 added minutes. Surely not enough time for Japan to come and win a point. They'll give it a go and look for a 3rd goal, though. A lot of bodies forward, but the Koreans have pushed just about everybody back behind the ball, as you would expect. It was allowed to run through there by Sagasawa. The Koreans always likely to get a 5th goal on the break, but that scarcely matters. 5-2, 4-2 matters not really. In the context of the final result, that is all that does matter. And there's a good ball played forward. Ran-sim takes up such intelligent positions, keeps the possession well. An undoubted star of the women's game over the last decade. We've had 90 minutes, of course. We're into the 4 of added time. The ball is into the danger zone again. This one headed over the top. Matters not. The tall figure there that put it over the top was Kim Yun-mi. There's confirmation of the booking for the Korean goalkeeper. And this has been a notable triumph for the Koreans, who've never been behind. They led 1-0 at half-time. They were pegged back immediately in the first 3 minutes of the second half by the equaliser from Masuya. They found a lead again from the same source as the first goal, Ri Ye-gyong. They were pegged back a second time with a cracker of a goal from Ami Sugita. But then that double strike from Ra Un-sin looks like taking the Koreans to maximum points, but they do have to defend in the closing seconds of this match. Are the Japanese going to conjure up a 3rd goal? It's a brilliant dribble, and it's a brilliant shot as well, that it deserved a rich reward that it didn't get. But it was a truly delightful piece of work. Excellent play there for Japan. And it should have been a goal for Yokoyama. Yokoyama weaving her way through into the penalty area. And the girl who is 22 next week deserved a better reward than that. It surely means that the Koreans are going to win by 4-2. The Japan are having one last throw of the dice here in taking off Arimachi and bringing on Hikaru Namoto. The Koreans have done enough to win this one. It's the perfect start for them. They're still having to defend. The Japanese typically give them full credit for this, throwing everything into a last assault. Won't be enough. it's going to be defeat for them, which is a major surprise perhaps. And there's the substitution for you. Namoto on, Arimachi off, as the Australian referee starts to sort of look at the watch and contemplate how long before she blows the final whistle. Not long is the only answer I can provide you with. A rather ungainly hack at the ball to send it spinning out. But this has been an absolutely excellent advertisement for the East Asian Cup. The first game staged in Wuhan, producing half a dozen goals of very high quality indeed. And the referee will raise the arm now. She will point to the tunnel and say that is game up, game over. But what a game for the Koreans to celebrate the two first strikes from Ri Ye-gyong, one in each half, supplemented by the two from the excellent captain Ra-eun-sim, who've won them the day. Despite Japanese goals from Rika Masuya and Ami Sugita, it is the Koreans who take the spoils. They've won by 4-2. And they come to take the applause of the fans, and they shake the hands of the opposition before moving on to their next task. The Koreans will meet China on Tuesday. But don't forget, in a few minutes' time, we'll be seeing China against Korea Republic in the second of the top bill here tonight in Wuhan. Starters, DPR Korea 4, Japan 2. It was a really excellent game of football, well controlled by the Australian referee, Lisa Rebelt-Kessie. Only one team can win in this tournament. Nothing for a defeat for the Japanese, but they'll be back. And they can win and still go through, of course, to top the table. It's been hard out there in a very humid atmosphere.
佐々木監督にお越しいただきました。2対4という結果、どのように捉えていらっしゃいますか。
そうですね。選手はね、イメージ通りをやっていたところ、中盤ね、つまらない点をね、してやられたというのはもったいないですね。本当これはね、いい勉強になってくればいいんですけども。
具体的に4失点という点では修正したいポイントというのはどのあたりになるんでしょうか。守備の修正ポイントというのはどのあたりになるんでしょうか。
2センターがね疲れてるの分かったので、変えようと思ったらなかなかボール出なくてですね、そんな時にしてやられたんですけれども、でもねいい勉強にはなったと思うんですけども、あれだけいい彼女たちもね、イメージはやれてたところの中でね、やはりあそこの終盤の時間帯ねもったいなかったですね。あれは僕のせいですよ。選手たちのもう精一杯やりながらもね、疲れてきた時間帯の中でもう少しあそこをね早めに交代してあげる、リズムを変えさせてあげる、1枚多くディフェンスをする、それが大事だったと思いますけどもね。
その中でも増谷選手、そして杉田選手の見事なゴールが決まりました。このあたりの評価はいかがでしょう。
点が入った彼女たちだけではなくて、有町もしっかりとね非常にアピールしたプレーが非常に光ったところもありましたし、これをね、機会にやっぱりもうちょっと個としてチームとして、築き上げなきゃいけないですね。
佐々木監督でした。ありがとうございました。
월드컵 2위인 일본을 상대로 승리를 거뒀습니다. 어떤 전략으로 좀 나가셨습니까?
상대가 월드컵에서 2위 하였다고 해서 우리 선수들이 거기에 주저하거나 동의하는 거 없이 우리 식대로 경기를 진행하였습니다. 그래서 오늘 경기 자체가 아주 더운 속에서 진행한 것만큼 우리 선수들에게 육체적 부담이 매우 컸습니다. 하지만 우리 선수들이 높은 정신력을 가지고 마지막까지 끝까지 잘 싸워서 승리할 수 있었다고 생각합니다.
나한심 선수가 국내 축구를 대표하는 선수같이 좋은 하나를 보여줬습니다. 좀 평가 좀 해주세요.
팀의 공격수로서 또 주장으로서 우리 공격에서 핵심적 역할을 하고 우리 팀적으로도 주장으로서 아주 팀을 이끌어 나가는 데서도 기둥이 돼서 경기를 아주 잘하고 있습니다. 라온심 선수의 그 빠른 이 속도에 의한 이 뒷공간 돌파가 오늘 성공적으로 결속됐다고 생각합니다.
다음 경기 홈팀 중국전 어떻게 대비하실까요?
중국전은 주제국이기 때문에 경기가 더 힘들 것이라고 생각합니다. 그래서 우리 선수들이 주최국 이 선수들과 맞서서 아마 잘 싸울 것이라고 생각합니다.
This was a match of extremely high quality. Sure, there were mistakes, but there were some excellent individual goals and some super team goals as well. And for the Koreans to prevail and to having led 3 times, you feel that maybe the result was the right one in the end. Well, though the Japanese played at times, and both teams creating a surfeit of opportunities for themselves. But it was a truly impressive show from the Koreans, who were never overawed by the opposition. Remember, World Cup finalists. And this was when the 2 teams came out to commence battle, with the 2 captains exchanging pennants. And it was the Koreans who looked to get the first goal, and Ra-eun Sim predictably at the heart of it, inducing the challenge there from the defender Mae Kiyokawa, and the referee from Australia, no hesitation in awarding a yellow card and a penalty, but the penalty was a weak one from Kim Un-ju. Easy save for Erina Yamane, and you might have thought that the Koreans would have been deflated by that, but not so. The coach wasn't happy, but they came back straight away, and from this delightfully executed free kick taken by Yoon Song-mi, it was Ri Ye-gyong who was on the end of it to get the supporters on their feet. She just stabbed the ball home from no more than about 4 yards out, and Korea DPR were in front on 35 minutes. But then Japan hitting back in the first 3 minutes of the second half. The final flourish from Rika Masuya, again on a set piece. And, the Japanese might have been awarded a penalty in any event, but the Australian allowing the advantage there, and Masuya taking full advantage. But the Koreans were proving to be a redoubtable force, and when there was a one-on-one situation developing over on that far side, it was absolutely superb play from Ra-eun Sim, who held it up, squared the ball for Ri Ye-gyong to stretch and prod in her second, and the Koreans had the lead back again. So much to admire about this goal. The tenacity on the 50-50 challenge there, won by Ra-eun Sim, and she had the presence of mind just to pull the ball back to the goal scorer. Japan had it all to do again, and this is how they did come back. The ball was cleared, and coming in to meet it from about 25 yards out, the right boot there, Ami Sugita, sending the ball flying high into the Korean net. It's her first ever international goal, and one she will surely never forget. Japan had come back again, it was 2-2. But we've already seen what a unit the Koreans are, and when the ball was made in there to the substitute, Kim Soo-gyung knew that alongside her would be Ra-eun Sim, and her captain took all of her time and found the net despite the presence of about 5 blue shirts around her. Yet another quality international strike from Ra-eun Sim. She always seems to be in the right place at the right time, and that's exactly what she was. Weaving into position and finishing with a flourish. After the pass that time from Kim Yoon-mi. And Ra-eun Sim is going to light up this East Asian Cup in Wuhan without doubt. And so it did end with DPR Korea beating Japan by 4-2 and sending their supporters home very happy indeed. The possession, 60% for Japan to Korea's 40%. It's goals that count. Korea did win 5 corners to 2. There were 20 fouls in the match, a total of 26 shots, which augurs well for the tournament. It shows what positive attitude the teams have got here. But there can be only one winner, and it was DPR Korea, who are now top of the group, top of the standings with 3 points. And coming up next is China against Korea Republic. That should be terrific as well. The final score again here in Wuhan from the opening fixture was DPR Korea 4, Japan 2.